INEOS made a massive statement by bringing in Omar Barada out of the blue, out of nowhere. He ditches City for Manchester United. Then Dan Ashworth leaves the richest club in the world for Manchester United when no one expected it to happen. But can INEOS make statements in the transfer window? And what would be the statement signing from INEOS when they talk about signing the next Bellingham, the next Mbappe? We're going to discuss that. We're going to discuss the transfer news. I think the transfer news in general is a bit boring because I think it's the international break. People are just putting out repetitive stories about manager this, manager that, Ten Hag safe, Ten Hag going, this manager, this manager, this manager, this manager. He's the favourite, he's the favourite. We want this player, we want that player. And to be honest with you guys, I'm going to get into stories that are positive, that have credibility, and then I'm going to get into just the news and explain to you guys, because I think now we're in the international break, it's just loads and loads of just crap coming out because people need clicks, views, interactions, but there's nothing to talk about because it's the international break, because the journalists know nothing. I've done a rant about Southgate. I'm going to do a rant about transfer news, but I wanted to start positive. I wanted to talk about a story about Ten Hag that nobody is talking about that I think we should talk about, and this is positive of things that Ten Hag has done. So it was said by Rich Fay that Erik Ten Hag has insisted on a more hands-on approach with the academy since joining the club from Ajax, having felt the under-21s has been isolated before his arrival. He now takes an active role in deciding which youngsters to train with the first team with advice from trusted team coaches. And one thing you can say is Garnacho comes through in his first season, Maino comes through in his second season, bish, bash, bosh. Erik Ten Hag is on track to be doing well with the academy. Our under-18s are at their best. They're probably 1 or 2 seasons away from being ready, but I wouldn't be surprised if Shea Lacey or maybe one player gets taken under his wing next season. Now, there's obviously question marks about Sedan Iqbal and Alvaro Fernandez being sold. And I think it's that frustration, particularly with the left-back situation with Alvaro Fernandez. But I think Sedan Iqbal was sold because Ten Hag said that Kobbie Mainoo is going to be better, and Ten Hag was right with that. Apparently, they're willing to sell Alvaro Fernandez because they believe they've got better coming through. So I think we should have kept him this season. But if we can sell him for a bit in the summer, I'm not going to cry about it because I do think Harry Amas could be unbelievable. And I think one positive about Ten Hag is the development of youth players, not just Maino and Garnacho, but I think Højlund's young, he's developed. Even Dalot, who's like 24, has developed as well. He's not crazy young now, but you can see that the youth team is better. You can see the development. You can see how Ten Hag involves a lot of the young players. Willie Camboir's played a bit this season. Forson's played a bit this season. Toby Collier's been making the bench. And that's probably my biggest praise for Ten Hag. You know, even took like the youth with him to the Carabao Cup final and actually had a chat with Maino basically saying this will be you soon. This will be you soon. It's how he's worked and really improved with the academy. And I think that our academy is not just because of Ten Hag, it's because of other people as well. But I think one area of Man United I won't criticise over the last 10 years is the academy. I'll criticise the facilities, the recruitment, the staff, the players, the managers, but I won't criticise the academy. Now, an interesting thing that was also said by Rich Fay said that Manchester United have also adopted a smarter transfer policy when it comes to selling academy graduates, with staff suspecting players will go stale and sour if they remain at the club too long without an opportunity to play. If it's for those reasons, they have looked to move on figures as soon as possible. So they're saying, and we haven't seen it so much this season, let's talk about all the players we sold for about £1 million and probably could have got more money from, but it is being widely suggested that sort of Man United will let go of a lot of their academy prospects because they see City and Chelsea selling players for a decent amount of money, and I think that's what they're doing with Alvaro. Okay, we could get maybe 8-9 million for him. Let's sell him now before he becomes stale and actually just doesn't play for years and years and then runs his contract out and then we lose him. You know, we're losing a lot of players for 1 million. I think United will actually sell some people for like 7-8 million at least instead of 1 million. Hopefully we can do what City and Chelsea do and actually get 15-20 million for some academy prospects. You know, imagine you know, Forson plays a couple more games, scores a few goals. Ten Hag said, I want him gone, and we can get 15 million for him. I don't think it's going to happen. But one thing that frustrates me is the selling of academy players when we're letting good academy stars go for so cheap. I think if they're good, let's try and get a bit more money for them. Now, I wanted to talk about INEOS' statement signing, and this was inspired by the Academy Scoop. Obviously, Romana said that Real Madrid are insisting on signing Leny Yoro this summer. They believe he will be an important player for the present. Leny Yoro is playing in the French league. He's been widely watched by INEOS. Manchester United like the guy. Manchester United think this guy's going to be unbelievable. Jim Ratcliffe likes this guy, and there's no doubt United are interested in this guy, but it almost feels like this is nailed on Real Madrid move. Like, you know, it's one of those nailed on Real Madrid moves. Endrick, Mbappe, and now Leny Yoro. But I think if INEOS want to make a statement this summer, and I agree with Scoop here, I like Todibo, I like Branthwaite, but if INEOS really want to make a statement this summer and say we are not to be messed with, go for Leny Yoro. I think INEOS, in my opinion, should make a statement and try and push for Leny Yoro. He probably wants Real Madrid, but he might not want Real Madrid. He might say, you know what, the Premier League's where it's at. The Premier League is the new Super League. I don't know. I don't know if we. I think we are the second biggest club after Real Madrid, but I don't think we have the pull of Real Madrid because look at where we've been the last 10 years. Look at Real Madrid and their 5 Champions Leagues in the last 10 years. But I think Lenny Euro would be the real statement from INEOS, a statement signing. Now, talking of centre backs that United might sign, we've got 2 stories here that I want to get into. And as I said, I'm going to have a bit of a rant about the transfer news in a second. But it was said that Manchester United are interested in signing Fulham centre-back Tosin, I'm not going to try and pronounce his surname because I'll get it wrong, who's out of contract in the summer. He played for Man City's academy and is interested in returning to United where he grew up. Look, I think he's a decent centre-back, not in my top 10 centre-backs to sign, but he's available for free. And if we can only afford 1 centre-back, let's say we can only afford Branthwaite, and we lose 2 centre-backs, we can't afford a second centre-back. Well, this guy coming in is going to be an improvement. Evans came in for free, is good. If this is the second centre-back coming in, haven't got a problem. Decent player, to be fair to him. Out of contract, take advantage of that. Take advantage of it. It was also said that Dan Ashworth has reportedly recommended the signing of Bremer to Manchester United. The club have been tracking Bremer for months, and there's strong belief the deal can be done with Juventus pressure to sell the big name to ease financial worries. I think this Bremer to Man United story is being pushed by Italian media for clicks, like they did with other players. I think Bremer's someone that's been looked at United, but I don't think we've looked at Bremer any more than we've looked at Tapsoba, Antonio Silva, Branthwaite, or Todibo. I just think that the Bremer name keeps being repeated and repeated by Italian media because it's United. It gets clicks, it gets interactions. Italian media milk any kind of United stories. I think Bremer is a target. Do I think that he's a top 3 target? I don't know. But I do feel like we've been linked to Tosin, we've been linked to Bremer, we've been linked to Branthwaite, we've been linked to Todibo, Silva, Tapsoba. We've been linked to all these players in the last week or so, saying we're looking at this centre back, we're going to sign this centre back, we're going to sign that centre back. I almost feel like it's international break. Everyone knows we're going to sign a centre back. It's been confirmed we will sign a centre back and striker this summer. So let's just say that United are going to sign this centre back and write a story about us getting this centre back. It almost feels like the media are almost looking for things to say, looking for things to write, if you get what I'm saying. Like tomorrow we might be told, we're getting De Ligt, or no, we're getting Kim Min-jae because Tuchel's not playing him for some reason, which is crazy because I thought when Kim Min-jae played for Bayern he was the best defender, so the fact that he's on the bench is mad. But I do think there's all this Southgate crap. I think there's so many transfer rumours going about. Southgate this, Southgate that, Potter this, Potter that, Ten Hag safe, Ten Hag leaving, we're signing this player, no, this player. I think it's just international break BS, if I'm going to be honest. And we're going to get into some more BS stories. But firstly, let's get into this. It was said that Graham Potter has admirers within INEOS and has worked for Ashworth at Brighton. True. As an out-of-work manager, he could be a cheaper alternative for United looking to balance financial fair plays, who are also keeping an eye on Roberto De Zerbi, but who replaced Potter at the Amex Stadium. But there's still plenty of interest in Potter from home and abroad. Look, I think financially, Man United might not be able to sack Ten Hag unless they sell well. I think that Man United don't have any real reason to sack Ten Hag. I think they've got reasons to sack him, but it's not like one of those situations where it's like they have to sack him. It's like there's a lot of reasons to keep him. I think I'd keep Ten Hag. I think he did well at Ajax. I think he did well in his first season. I think the squad is poor. I think there's bigger problems at the club. What I think is interesting is if we do sack Ten Hag, it will cost money. So, and then if we appoint a new manager from another club, it will cost money. So I think, there's something there. It may be with Potter being a genuine target. But again, no one's confirmed that INEOS have made any decision on Ten Hag. Potter's one of interest. De Zerbi's one of interest. Amarin's one of interest of what I've heard. Gareth Southgate isn't. There's no confirmation on Ten Hag in his future. There's no confirmation of a decision being made. I just feel like all these stories are just, okay, we need something to write about. We need something to write about, because this story also came out from Time Marshall, and he said that Gareth Southgate is in the frame to become Man United's new manager in the summer if INEOS decide to part ways with Ten Hag, but they did say no decision has been made. They said Southgate's admirers from INEOS were surging Ratcliffe impressed by the work he's done with England and also having a relationship with Brailsford and Ashworth, and that Southgate is featured prominently in discussions over managerial targets this summer should Ten Hag be sacked. From what I've heard, INEOS like Southgate, they rate Southgate, but they don't see him as a guy that's able to manage United because he's only managed international football. Again, as I said, it's Amarin, it's De Zerbi, it's Potter. Whether you agree with that or not, those are the 3 that INEOS are interested in. From what I've heard, there's nothing in the Gareth Southgate to United. It's the media writing stuff because they know Gareth Southgate to Man United is going to wind people up. It's going to get interactions. It's going to get views. It's going to get clicks. I think a load of media outlets are just pushing this Southgate story on us. All we've heard for 3-4 days now is Southgate this, Southgate that. He's one of a number of targets with Potter and De Zerbi. Why aren't we hearing about Potter and De Zerbi? Because it doesn't cause the same outrage. They're just writing Southgate this, Southgate that. Southgate's not even a proper target from what I've heard from reliable sources. Romano said that no decision's been made on the manager. We aren't even looking at a manager. But reliable sources that say we're looking at a manager have listed De Zerbi and not listed Southgate. I think the Southgate story is a load of crap. And as Paul said here, according to Muppeteers, Ratcliffe hasn't made any decision on Ten Hag, so I'm going to believe them over any of the British media because they have actually been spot on with everything INEOS and Ratcliffe, which is true. I personally think given next season to improve things, then judge him with that, and I agree. I like to see Ten Hag give him one more year to see if he can improve things, and then I judge him off what he does in the next year. I think there's a good manager in Erik Ten Hag. I'm a big fan of Erik Ten Hag, and I think, I don't think there's any truth in the Southgate rumours for what I'm hearing. I think there is obviously interest in other managers, and INEOS's mind isn't made up yet, but I'd like to see him given time. And there are reports that United looking at the Atalanta centre-back Giorgio Scalvani. What did I say? I literally just clicked Twitter and we're linked to 2 other players as well. So what did I say? I feel like we're just going to be linked to players back, right and forth at the moment. Honestly, I think we're just going to be linked to constant players. We're going to be linked to constant managers. I don't think any journalist knows what's going on. I think it's going to be a boring few weeks of news, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on all the latest news, if you agree with me or not, if you think it's all a load of rubbish. Just wanted to start positive, though. Do hit the like. Please do subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye.